What is going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Toy Shop Fab. Now, how many of you out there have bedsides that look similar to this? Ugly, right? Well, I'm going to show you guys how to get rid of it. Kind of. We're going to hide it. Won't even know it's there. Yep, we're gonna hide this eyesore right here. For the most part, the truck is in really decent shape. Front fenders aren't all rotted out, but our bedsides here and a little bit on the frame, but this is the worst. So you can see, that's what happens when you're driving down the road, especially in the winter time. If you're in a state where it uses a bunch of salt on the road, all that kind of collects up in here. You got little holes or passages, all that will fall into, collects it over the years, and well, it wants to rot all this out. Now there's a bunch of different ways you can fix this. You can do to fix this. One, you can get a new bedside. Two, I'm pretty sure they make patch panels. Basically, they have it like starts at a body line, comes out so far up, follows a certain pattern that may have, cuts all that out. You can replace the inner fender well and just like a patch panel for your bedside. You can do that. You can knock a bunch of this stuff off, fill it with fiberglass. I've seen people fill them with chicken wire, expandable foam, which is one of my favorites. Kitty hair. I mean, there's a bunch of different things. I've even seen them go as far as just taping it and then just filling it with Bondo, right? Hit it with a little bit of primer. Eventually, a few years down the road, all this comes back, and it will come back. But in this video, what we're going to do is, well, we're going to kind of hide it. We're going to clean most of this up, see if we can't kill a lot of this. And like I said, we're going to use foam, right? I like that stuff. We're going to use it to kind of help plug up some of these holes that try to keep more stuff from falling in there and making this look any worse. And then when we're all done, we're going to finish it off with this guy right here. Now, I got this from eBay. I'll put a link to this in the description because the company does make a bunch of different wheel flares. And if we come on over here to our co-pilot side, you're going to see actually fits the truck pretty good. Comes up and over. This bedside here is every bit as bad as that bedside over there, but you won't tell. And these little fender flares have all this neat little stainless. Now, they don't go into the bed. You won't be drilling any holes in your bedsides. Although, if you got yourself some like nut zerts, go to the hardware store, get a couple of these that are a little bit longer, and just kind of pick some areas where you won't mind putting a nut zert in the side of your bed. It'll help keep this just a little bit tighter. See? But for the most part, it's only held in. Wish I had my light on me right now, but there's little screws, factory screws here, a couple of added sheet metal screws, and a couple of clips up here. But we are going to go over all of that before installing this, because there's a couple of different things you need to do. You need to put all of your little stainless screws in here. There's a little piece of weather stripping or like a quarter molding that goes around this edge here. Fits up between it and the bedside, kind of keeps the plastic from rubbing on the metal or wearing your paint off. But we'll go ahead and put this back inside the shop. Get you guys in the stand. I'll be right back. All right, first things first. Grab your new flare here. What you're going to want to do is just kind of set it up in there. Figure out exactly how it wants to fit for one, where it wants to be, right there, right there, right there. All right, make sure it fits nice and tight up against your wheel well. Everything looks pretty darn good. You can grab a marker or a piece of tape or something. What you kind of want to do, just give yourself a mental note or some kind of reference point. I'm going to use a piece of tape right now because that's what I have. And just kind of take this edge here and realize that this goes about all the way down like this. You can see exactly how much of this rust that this is going to cover. Now I say that because The next step I want to do grab your hammer, just kind of see if you can knock out any of the old or flaky rust. Try to be careful though, you don't want to pull too much of this stuff off and go past your little reference point or the lines you made for yourself. Like you said, we're not going to get rid of all of this rust. We are going to try to get rid of a lot of it. Slow it down, because unless you cut all this out, you're not getting rid of it. But this will help hide it, slow it down, give you a couple more years to save up the money you need for a new bedside, or trade it in for a new truck, whichever comes first. So, grab your hammer, try to get rid of all of the big flaky chunks of rust. See all of that dirt that gets hidden or gets trapped in here? Once you got most of your chunks and the dirt and the big pieces of rust kind of knocked out of there, let's hit it with an air blower. Try to get up in these little areas here. Blow it away from you. There you go. See, you got a little bit of rust and a little dirt. Kind of want to get rid of that. Don't want to lock that in. Get rid of some of our flaky paint. Like I said though, but try to be careful. Don't go past this little line that you've made for yourself. All right, once you've got all the big chunks and everything blown out of your wheel well there, you're pretty happy with, you don't got any more dirt in there, big rust chunks are gone. I like to spray a lot of this stuff. I use it on a lot of things. It's a rust reformer. See here. Yep, Rust-Oleum. I got this at Walmart, but it instantly converts rust into a protected, paintable surface. But don't get shy with this stuff, right? Even though that we see a lot of rust there, there's still rust that goes up inside each one of those little holes down there, travels down the inside of our bedside. So there's a lot of areas you can't see that still has quite a bit of rust in there. All we did was knock off the big chunks. So, like I said, don't be stingy. Let it have it. Kind of coat it heavy, get this area here, get some of this stuff you got on the outside, try to kill that, get down in these little edges here, fill up all our little holes, see if you can get up inside that as well. Put it on nice and thick. If you have to, you can come back, make another coat. And all I'm trying to do right now is kind of slow down and stop what's going on here. Get up inside as well. Get it nice and heavy, let it run. Try to get it to pull up and almost run down these areas here. Said, we're just trying to slow it down, make it last a little bit longer. Look at that guy. It's almost on the edge of where my wheel flare is going to hide, so be a little careful there. Let that set up for a minute, let it dry. We'll probably end up putting one more coat on there. Just make sure all of our areas are nice and covered. But let's grab this guy, get inside here. We'll put this on the stand. We're gonna go ahead and just kind of prep this a little bit. We'll get all of our little stainless hardware put in these areas here, our fake bolts, because that's what they are. We'll get those installed. We'll get our little pinch round or pinch molding attached to this thing as well. By the time those are installed, we can come back out, probably put another coat on our wheel well there, let that set up completely before we move on to the next step. But let's get this on the stand and let's start getting all of our hardware installed. All right, got our flare in the stand. Now I've already done 3 of these guys already and they are installed on the truck. This is our final one. It looks like actually they give you quite a bit of extra of this stuff, so if you mess up a little bit, it looks like, it almost looks like you might have enough to do one more flare, so that's nice. Now here's our little molding here, kind of like a quarter molding or a pinch weld molding, but on the inside of this it has our little like double-sided tape. That's once you get it on there. I've been putting the double-sided tape, or if you look at it like this, the long edge on the outside area of our flare. So, you see how this is sitting? This end here, of course, would be on the outside. This edge here would be up against our bedside. Now, the longer area here, the area or the side of our quarter molding or our pinch molding here, with our double-sided tape, I've been putting on the outside area. That way I can get it kind of laid into place and then use our tape, slowly pulling it and pushing down on this edge to kind of keep it secure to our molding. So that's how that's been working. Still got to get it on there. When I did this, we cleaned out our wheel well over there, got some paint or our rust killer on there, letting that set up. We can come back to this. So we'll get our pinch weld molding on. After that's all done, here is, grab them here, our hardware for each one of our holes that go around. Kind of looks like, you know, our fake bolts per se. So I get one of these little Allen button heads here. They got a stainless washer. And then of course it has this nylock nut on the backside. All of this is stainless and it just gets tightened up in that hole. Now the kit does come with an Allen wrench, but I recommend you get yourself, if you got a little handheld impact or a socket wrench, whatever, get yourself a 13mm socket on the backside. Hold back up with your Allen wrench. It makes this process much quicker. Right now I'm going to go ahead and grab all of our little bolts here, get all those installed all the way around. I'll get our pinch weld or our pinch molding installed on the outside edge of our flare as well. Pull our weather strip up. Go ahead and time lapse right now. All right, pinch weld or quarter molding, or pinch weld molding has been installed on our flare. You can see all of our stainless fake hardware has been installed around our wheel flare as well. So now we got all that stuff installed. Oh, and I wanted to show you, if you can, like on these edges here, there's one over there. That one was okay. That one didn't fight me too much, but this one's more of a sharp point. So this may or may not help you on yours. If you can get some kind of relief cut on the inside, take that out, so all you're trying to get to flex is this outside. And once it's up against the truck, you won't know that that's there. You can see actually it's still a little bit high. But once this is all sitting in the body line, like these guys right here, you won't even be able to tell that that's there. So that guy's ready, which means we should be able to put another coat of our rust killer on the side of this truck. Like I said, just get in there, make sure it's really, really good and coated. Don't be afraid to just let it run down these edges. We want it to kind of soak up inside there. Hopefully get to a bunch of little areas that you can't get to or you can't see. You just kind of want it to pull up. You see kind of pulling out right there. But what we're trying to do is just slow it down. You can see we've got a little bit more up underneath the paint, but if we go too far, we're going to get past our wheel flare. So just knock off what you can. Give everything a nice good coat. Yep. Might have been a little high there. We'll see when we put the wheel flare on, but that is good and coated. See, now I got a nice wet coat on there. So now we're gonna let that set up. Once again, I want that stuff to completely dry. Once that's dry, I will bring you guys back. We'll get set up for the next part of this kind of repair per se. So we're gonna use some cardboard. We're gonna use some expanding foam. We're gonna use some foam that's all weather resistant. So let's let this cure up. Once this is all cured and ready to go, I'll bring you guys back and we'll get started on getting this all filled in. Good morning. Now we have given our rust treatment, our rust killer, rust reformer, plenty of time to dry. And here's what it looks like on the side of our truck. Now, truthfully, if you really, really wanted to, you could skip this next part. Since we got this all nice, good, and coated, you could actually just bolt the wheel flare on now if that's what you wanted to do. Say you wanted to skip the whole installation part. We've done what we could. We've knocked all the big chunks of rust out of there. Blew out all the dirt and gravel that was caught in these little guys here, these little crevices here. Blew all that out. Hit it with our rust reformer. Slowed everything down so you could put our wheel flare on now. But we're going to go just one more step above because there is still cracks and crevices and little holes there in our bedside that even if we just put the wheel flare on, you wouldn't see it from the outside, but on the backside, there's still going to be spots where gravel, rust, dirt, water, everything can get into it and maybe speed the process back up a little bit, not giving it as much time as we may need, right, to figure out what it is we're going to do. So I went and picked up some of this stuff right here. Now this says it expands 1 to 3 inches. That should cover it. Also says weatherproof, reduces drafts. I like the weatherproof part. Drafts, not, whatever. Seals out air, moisture, and pests. It's airtight, water resistant. That's good. Since we're using this on the truck, that's probably going to see puddles, rain, weather, all that stuff. Weather resistant is a big thing. So you can see here we've got cardboard just kind of going around the whole inner edge of our wheel well, and I just have it in place with a couple of vice grips, just holding them up there. You can use whatever kind of clamp you want. This is just what I had, and all we're trying to do is try to keep the foam in this area. Hopefully keep it off the bottom lip, but let's see here. get inside this little guy here and just kind of, you know, get some foam in there. 1 to 3 inches of expanding power, so that should help. You do want to be careful, try not filling your wheel wells up too much. This stuff, I have heard horror stories where it likes to expand the metal. So, but we're just going to put something in here to kind of help seal up some of these areas. Try to keep any more dirt, water, grime, salt. There we go. Now this stuff does take a little bit to dry, so after we do this part, we are going to have to let it sit again for a little bit. Make sure we get, see these big old holes right there coming from the inside. We just want to like see if we can, there we go, expand it to a point where it wants to sit on both sides of our wheel well here. Just try to get in there and close everything off. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Try to get as much of this stuff covered as possible. So it does expand, so whatever you get inside any one of these little holes or crevices, it will want to, touch that up here in a second, want to expand up inside. So hopefully it'll grab hold and just kind of hang out there for a little while. But this is the mess we end up with right now. We will let it set up. We will come back with a razor blade, just kind of trim it off a little flush with our wheel well here, or our quarter panel bedside. Give our wheel flares plenty of room. So I'm gonna let this set up. Once it does, I'll bring you guys right back. We'll remove the cardboard, trim it up. All right, a couple hours have gone by. You can see she has gotten pretty hard, so I think it's safe to say we can go ahead and start removing all our vice grips that are holding our cardboard in place, and see if we can trim this down a little bit. Yeah, this stuff's pretty sticky, so gonna tear. Whatever it is you use to help hold this up, make sure that it comes off. When it comes off, you don't mind if it gets torn or something like that. Cardboard's pretty good. Oh yeah, I got a bunch of foam from the backside through those holes, so that's good. There we go. That's nice. Heck yeah. This actually did really, really well. I've never used that brand of foam before, so it's like $4 at Walmart. All right, so now that we got that, we're just going to take a razor blade here and see if I can cut off some of the big chunks, bring it down a little bit closer so we can work with it. Foam has been trimmed up. Now deep in the center here, it's still a little soft to the touch, not completely dry yet, so we're going to go ahead and just leave that alone. And basically all I really wanted to do was trim it to give myself enough room to make sure our fender flare fit over this without running into this guy, not giving us any problems. And later in life, if we wanted to, we could always come back, pull the fender flare off, take some sandpaper to this, sand it down a little more flush, but this right here is going to serve our purpose, and that's basically just to cover up all these holes to keep any more or any new material entering in between these two panels and rusting them out. And if we get on the back side, you're gonna see all the holes we managed to cover up with that foam. And all the way down, so there is quite a few holes there, but we did trim that off, that way we didn't have any tire interference. We shouldn't, but you can see here all the light shining through all the other areas. And there is 2 panels here, so basically this is just to try to keep anything from getting in between these 2 panels here. And if I don't know if I did it at the start of this, but there's a lot less rattle between these 2 panels now, so that's going to work out for us real well and should do exactly what I want. Now I'm going to go ahead and get you in the stand, because we're going to need a couple of things here. You need a little ratchet with an 8mm. We're going to pull these guys out because these are our wheel flare. We'll use these 2 mounting locations here, which is really good because these are strong, and there's a nice metal clip that goes into this kind of mud flap thing here. You're going to want to make sure these holes are clear. Now, I don't know if all trucks have them. There's probably another little mud flap or something that comes in here. This truck did not have it, but these holes are here. Make sure they're there, make sure they're clear, and you may have to drill them out. And I believe it'd be like a 1/4 inch hole for our little mounting hardware. And then we got, for the most part, we got pretty good metal here, because then we got 3 self-tappers or sheet metal self-tappers that are going to go like here, here, and here to help hold this up in place as well. Now, the kit does come with these little guys, so if you don't want to drill into your truck or anything like that, these are a little tight. You'll have to open them up a little bit, but you can actually use this to get up in here, and it'll go like on your pinch weld here, or your weld here, and this will slide over our molding, and these will hold the 2 together. It's got a little kind of like a little finger in there, and it'll help bite down on the metal, keep it on our wheel flare and everything in place. These are an option, but this truck I got no problem drilling holes into, so that's what we're going to do. Go ahead, get you in the stand real quick, get this guy set up into place. We're going to use a set of channel locks to kind of help hold it so we can put it where we need it. But let's go ahead and get you in the stand. All right, we've got our 8mm right here, and pull these guys out. Pretty strong little bolts here, so a lot of our mounting is going to be hung off these guys right here. Got our bolts. Those out, everything else is clear, out of the way. Good. Make sure we got our vice grips. We're using these kind right here. You can pick these up at like Lowe's or Home Depot. I think I'm not 100% sure where I got these. These have been around for a very, very long time. But I like them because they got these 2, like these guys right here. It'll help hold both of our pieces together without really wanting to dent, damage, or scratch anything. Nice, good, solid mounting, and they pivot. So if our angle's a little off, work really good. Grab this guy. Now, truck's got 2 body, like a body line here and here, and our molding's got a spot for that on each side. Here, now I just want to kind of set this up into place. Don't force anything just yet. So I make sure everything's kind of where it almost needs to be. There we go. There. Okay. You may have to move it around just to get our little moldings or our little body lines to fit where they're supposed to go. That looks like it's supposed to be right there. So. Now we got our molding in place. You can see we did not come past our our little line here. Keep all that. Got a little bit of our paint that I need to clean off. That's no big deal. That guy is wrong. Always good to make sure everything lines up right where it should be. Those look like they go where they're supposed to be, so that's good. That'll work. That'll work. This guy's where he needs to be. There we go. Now you want to pay attention to your little molding right here. So if you can, when you're sliding it around or whatever, if you can kind of pull it away from the truck bed and then put it where you need it, move it into place, it'll help keep from wanting to roll that inside, because rubber on metal, it will want to pull this off the edge, so just keep that in mind. Okay, that guy's there. Let's grab one of our little bolts here. Molding is where it's supposed to be. Almost did it right here. As long as you catch it in time, it's really not that big of a deal. Cool thing about this is it uses kind of like tension to hold everything in place, so you're almost going to wish you had two hands. Bottom bolt is started. Make sure we're good everywhere where it needs to be, and we are. Second one started into place. This is why it's good to have vice grips. That way you got something holding it in place for you. You can do it without them, it's just a big pain. That guy started. All right. Guy sits pretty good. All right. Now let's go ahead and grab our little drill. Let me move you over here to the other side. All right. Now down there's going to be a couple little holes. And I have a drill right here to help, because these are kind of slotted, and I'm going to use the push clips in this guy. But basically all you want to do is just make sure your body lines line up. Make sure you're lined up with our holes here. Just take your little drill bit, open those guys up, make sure that way we're not fighting it to go put our clips in. Now, move you out of the way. This is a, yep, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. That is a 1/4 drill bit. And that is for these two holes right here. And that will give us plenty of room for these little clips right here. These are little push clips, and then they got Phillips head style threaded inserts there. So once these are popped into place, those get pushed all the way in. You can see there how it swells up our clip, and that's going to be like almost like a plastic rivet per se, but reusable because you can take a Phillips head and screw those out. So that's how those work. You just want to make sure our Phillips or our hole is big enough for our clips. So once that is in place, then put that guy in there. There's one. Line up our bottom one as well. Make sure we're all good out here still. Yep. Guys in place. Alright, those guys are in place. Now the last and final thing is you're going to want to do is, now that we've got the two bottoms kind of held in place, we can take these guys, our vice grips, out. Basically just kind of pick up on the molding a little bit, our wheel flare. We're just going to help massage it. It's going to want to lay flat, go inside a little bit. And our lip on the inside there, if you don't put the screws in correctly, or you put it and line the plastic lip up with the inner fender here, it'll have a gap right here, and it doesn't really sit all that well. So just kind of open that up, pick this up a little bit if you can, just kind of help flatten it out. Give us a nice good tight seal against our truck bed. Swap over to our Phillips screws. And now on the top side of this guy, you're going to have 1, 2, 3 other little slotted holes for places to start your self-tappers. Pick a good spot. There we go. There's one. We've got a good tight lip going all the way across. Tab for number 2. Got this guy. And now, go ahead and step back. We'll get this guy here as well. Whoops. Lost him. Lost our screw. Installed. A little bit of a gap right here, but should work its way out after a little while. Also, another reason why I say too, if you want to, you can grab hardware from the hardware store here. Get like longer bolts, mark out where they would be on your truck bed here. Add a couple of nut certs or the same style sheet metal screws. I'm not judging, but as of right now, for the job that we are doing, grab a hammer real quick. This guy looks pretty darn good. Looks a heck of a lot better than a couple of rust spots hanging out on the side of your truck. Let's put this guy. Line you back up where you're supposed to be. Broke the clip. That's okay. Got more. Looks like just a little off on the plastic. That's okay. Go ahead and fix that up real fast. A little bit off. A little crooked. There we go. That's much better. There. Fit just like it should. All right, there you have it. Here is our new wheel flare, and as I said, you can't even tell that behind all that is a big rusted hole. And these are just some wheel flares I got off of eBay. I will put a description to this, or a link in the description for these wheel flares. They weren't all that expensive. They actually fit the truck really, really well. And you know, even though you do not own or may not own a 2004 Dodge Ram, the company does make a lot of this style flares for a lot of many different vehicles. They fit all of our little body lines pretty good. And you can see here, see it has just a little bit of gap from either slight warpage in our flare or a slight deficiency in our quarter, but it wouldn't be too hard if you wanted to, since all our holes are now marked everywhere. We can actually take this back off, remove like this guy right here, pull him out, maybe another one on this corner right here, pull them out, put this back up in place, mark where it would intersect or where this hole would be on our bedside here, drill it out, put like a nut zert in there, grab one of these as a longer bolt, and then now you could have two more mounting points here to here, which will help tighten all this up. I'm not going to worry about it right now. This should work out just fine for what it's doing. And truthfully, it only took a couple hours to really mount these up, the back being the hardest because we had to clean out our wheel wells there, try to get rid of some of the rust, paint it, use foam, which is an optional step. If you just wanted to spray some stuff in there and stop it, then put your wheel flare on, you could save yourself a few hours. You could save yourself quite a bit of time actually, and still come out with something looking a heck of a lot better. So now we can, this was actually really bothering my daughter, so I picked those up and gonna make her feel a little bit better about driving this truck. So quick, simple, no real heavy, no big tools, basically all simple stuff. Real easy to do, takes less than a weekend to do it. So hope this helps some of you guys out. And so yeah, thank you guys for watching, thank you for hanging out. I'm gonna end this one right here, gonna pick up my mess, get ready to go back to work. I didn't see that, so, but thank you guys again. Thank you for hanging out. Hope this helps some of you out. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Give a guy a like. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. And make sure you make sure you do hit that subscribe button. I got a project that guy's going in. If you've been following my shorts or whatever, I've been building this off camera. This is going to go, well, let's just say whatever this goes into, the vehicle this goes into, is going to make the driver think you're driving something that's got like 1,000 horsepower, because it's going to be small and it's light. But anyways, I got to go. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. And as always, thank you guys for all your support. And I'll catch you on the next one.